Have you ever wondered what it truly means to embrace life, no matter your age? In this video, we'll share 6 heartwarming and inspiring stories of people who've proven that aging is not a barrier to living fully. From a 92-year-old adventurer exploring the world to a tech-savvy grandma redefining independence, these real-life examples will show you how to break free from stereotypes, pursue your passions, and find joy in every stage of life. Stay with us until the end, because these stories might just ignite a spark in you to take that first step toward your own adventure, challenge yourself, or create a legacy that lasts for generations. You won't want to miss the valuable lessons and inspiration that await. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Story 1. The Independent Grandpa. Meet Grandpa Joe, a spirited 85-year-old with a zest for life that belies his age. With a heart full of energy and an unyielding determination to maintain his independence, Joe has always been a role model for his family. For as long as anyone can remember, he has lived life on his terms, up before sunrise to greet the day with his daily morning walks, lovingly tending to his vibrant garden, and savoring peaceful afternoons engrossed in the pages of a good book. Over the years, Joe's lifestyle became a cherished routine, a source of joy and stability for him. His morning walks around the neighborhood brought him into contact with familiar faces and warm smiles, creating a sense of community that was as comforting as it was invigorating. His garden, a labor of love, bloomed with the care and attention only a dedicated hand could provide. In his cozy home, surrounded by the memories of a life well lived, Joe found solace and strength. However, as time passed, Joe's family grew increasingly concerned about his health. They noticed the subtle signs of aging creeping in. His once spry movements had slowed, and he occasionally needed a little more time to complete his daily tasks. These changes, while natural, prompted his family to suggest a new chapter for him, moving into a nursing home where he could have round-the-clock care and assistance. To Joe, the idea felt like an uprooting of his very identity. While he acknowledged his limitations, he wasn't ready to give up the life he had built over decades. The thought of leaving behind his cherished morning routine, the camaraderie of the local coffee shop regulars, and the sanctuary of his home filled him with an ache that no practical argument could assuage. "I understand your concerns," Joe told his family one evening, his voice steady but resolute. "But this house, this neighborhood, this is where I feel most alive. With a little help, I can manage just fine here." True to his word, Joe explored ways to adapt without sacrificing his independence. He agreed to accept some extra support, whether it was a home care worker assisting with household tasks or family members dropping by more frequently to check on him. With these adjustments, he found a balance that allowed him to remain where he belonged. Grandpa Joe's unwavering resolve is a testament to the power of independence and the human spirit's desire to hold on to what makes life meaningful. His story is a reminder that, while aging comes with its fair share of challenges, it doesn't mean surrendering your sense of self or autonomy. With the right kind of support, be it from family, friends, or community resources, it's possible to continue living life on your terms, staying connected to the routines and places that bring you joy and fulfillment. For Joe, every morning walk, every shared laugh at the coffee shop, and every bloom in his garden is a victory, a reaffirmation that independence, at any age, is a force to be respected and celebrated. Story 2. The surprising move of a retired teacher. Meet Mrs. Hargrove, a retired teacher in her early 70s, who dedicated over 4 decades to nurturing young minds and fostering a love for learning in her students. Her days in the classroom were filled with lessons, laughter, and the occasional challenge, but they were always purposeful and deeply fulfilling. When the time came to step away from her career, Mrs. Hargrove found herself at a crossroads. While many of her peers were opting for traditional retirement paths, such as moving into nursing homes or staying in the familiar comfort of their longtime neighborhoods, Mrs. Hargrove felt a pull in a different direction. She began researching options for her next chapter and came across a small, vibrant community designed specifically for retirees. This wasn't your typical retirement village. It was a lively, close-knit neighborhood where the residents actively contributed to one another's lives through shared activities, hobbies, and passions. Intrigued, she visited the community and was immediately drawn to its energy and the potential for connection it offered. With a sense of courage and excitement, Mrs. Hargrove made a bold decision to sell her home and move to this new place, despite the doubts and concerns voiced by her family. Her family, understandably, was apprehensive. They worried she might feel out of place or regret leaving behind the comfort of her old neighborhood, where she had spent decades building memories. They questioned whether such a dramatic change was wise at her age, urging her to consider staying closer to familiar surroundings. However, Mrs. Hargrove remained steadfast. She knew deep down that this was an opportunity to redefine her retirement, not as a period of winding down but as a chance for renewal and growth. The first few weeks in her new home were an adjustment, as she acclimated to her surroundings and met her neighbors. Yet, it didn't take long for Mrs. Hargrove to immerse herself fully in the community. To her delight, she discovered a group of residents who shared her love for crafting, storytelling, and teaching. Realizing there was a demand for creative activities, she offered to teach knitting classes, a skill she had mastered in her youth but rarely had time to practice during her busy teaching career. Her classes quickly became a hit. Residents of all skill levels flocked to learn from her, eager to create scarves, blankets, and even intricate patterns. Mrs. Hargrove found immense joy in sharing her knowledge, patiently guiding her fellow residents through each stitch. What started as a simple hobby evolved into a meaningful role within the community, giving her a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. Beyond knitting, Mrs. Hargrove began participating in book clubs, gardening projects, and even hosting weekly movie nights. Her days were now filled with laughter, camaraderie, and the satisfaction of making a difference in the lives of others. The vibrant social life, combined with her contributions to the community, brought a newfound energy and vitality that she hadn't experienced in years. Looking back, Mrs. Hargrove often reflects on her decision to take a leap of faith. While her family initially struggled to understand her choice, they now see the happiness and fulfillment she has gained. For Mrs. Hargrove, retirement is no longer about simply passing the time. It's about thriving, growing, and embracing every moment with a sense of adventure and gratitude. Story 3. The Adventurer in His 90s. Let me introduce you to Mr. Thompson, a remarkable 92-year-old whose zest for life and adventurous spirit shine brighter than ever. While many individuals his age might choose to settle into a quiet, leisurely existence, Mr. Thompson made a bold decision. He opted to live his golden years as an intrepid explorer, embarking on journeys around the globe with his devoted daughter by his side. Whether wandering the cobblestone streets of Paris, trekking through the serene landscapes of the Italian countryside, or uncovering the mysteries of ancient ruins in Greece, Mr. Thompson embraced every opportunity to see the world and immerse himself in new experiences. What makes his journey even more inspiring is that Mr. Thompson didn't pursue the conventional forms of travel, like luxurious cruises or guided tours. Instead, he chose a path that reflected his deep desire for authenticity and connection. Staying in small apartments and charming local hotels, blending into the heart of each destination, and living as a true wanderer among the people. These weren't just trips to tick off a bucket list. They were real-life adventures, ones Mr. Thompson had always dreamed of but couldn't fully pursue earlier in life due to responsibilities, commitments, and the pace of daily life. Now, at 92, he is living out those dreams, proving that age is not a limitation, but rather an opportunity to embrace new experiences and create lasting memories. Mr. Thompson's story delivers a powerful lesson. Age is merely a number. There's no rule that says we must stop seeking adventure or limit ourselves to a more settled lifestyle as we grow older. In fact, many people discover that their later years bring newfound freedom and flexibility, offering a chance to explore life in ways they previously couldn't. Mr. Thompson teaches us that it's never too late to seek excitement, challenge ourselves, and create meaningful memories. Whether you're 92 or 32, the key is to take that first step and believe that life still holds countless adventures waiting to be uncovered. So, no matter where you are in life, remember, there's always room for more exploration and discovery. Story 4. The Techsavvy Grandma. Let me introduce you to Grandma Ruth, a remarkable woman in her 80s whose story is both inspiring and heartwarming. Grandma Ruth epitomizes the notion that age doesn't have to dictate one's independence or connection to the world. Although she could no longer fully care for herself as she once did, she was steadfast in her decision to remain in her home rather than move into a nursing facility. For Ruth, the thought of relinquishing control over her own life was not an option. Instead, she took on the challenge of integrating technology into her daily life in ways that many people her age might have found daunting or even intimidating. Recognizing that she needed to adapt to her evolving circumstances, Grandma Ruth began her journey into the world of technology. With the encouragement and support of her grandchildren, she bravely learned to use smartphones, tablets, and various smart home devices. These new tools became essential in helping her maintain a sense of autonomy and manage her home environment. Ruth set up voice-controlled systems to control her lighting, lock her doors, and adjust the thermostat, all with simple commands. These conveniences allowed her to navigate daily tasks with ease, minimizing the need for physical assistance and providing a sense of security in her living space. What truly transformed Ruth's experience was how technology enhanced her connection with her family. Using video calls, she could stay in touch with loved ones no matter the distance. Through these virtual conversations, she witnessed the growth of her great-grandchildren, celebrated milestones, and even participated in family game nights from the comfort of her living room. Technology became more than a tool. It became a bridge that kept her connected to the people she cherished the most. Grandma Ruth's story offers a profound lesson. Technology has the power to empower and enrich lives, regardless of age. Instead of letting her age limit her independence, Ruth embraced technology to retain control over her life and nurture her relationships. She proved that no matter how many years have passed, technology can serve as a vital bridge to staying engaged, active, and independent. In today's world, where technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace, Ruth's journey reminds us that we should never be afraid to embrace these advancements. Whether it's staying connected with loved ones, managing daily tasks, or simply finding joy in the present moment, technology holds the potential to help us live life on our own terms, no matter our age. Story 5. The Gardener Who Never Stopped Growing. Let's dive deeper into the inspiring life of Mr. Clark, a devoted gardener whose journey at 79 reflects a profound lesson about aging, resilience, and the beauty of adaptation. Mr. Clark had spent a lifetime cultivating an expansive garden filled with flowers, trees, and vibrant vegetables. His garden wasn't just a collection of plants. It was an expression of his passion, his creativity, and his connection to nature. Over the decades, it grew to become more than a hobby. It was his sanctuary, a reflection of his dedication to the natural world. However, as Mr. Clark aged, he began to notice that his body couldn't keep up with the demanding physical labor required to maintain his once sprawling garden. The work of digging, planting, weeding, and maintaining became increasingly difficult. His once boundless energy had dwindled, and the physical toll began to take a noticeable effect on his health. His family, observing these changes, grew concerned. They feared that his age and declining physical ability would force him to part with the very thing that had brought him so much joy and purpose throughout his life. Though his family's concerns were rooted in love, Mr. Clark refused to let go of his beloved garden entirely. He believed that his passion for gardening wasn't something he could, or wanted to, simply abandon. Instead of succumbing to the inevitability of aging, he decided to take control and make meaningful changes. Rather than clinging to a vision of what his garden once was, he chose to downsize. He transformed his vast, sprawling garden into a smaller, more manageable space that aligned with his current abilities. The transition wasn't easy. Letting go of parts of his garden, the sprawling vegetable patches, the towering trees, meant giving up the idealized image of what his garden had once been. But Mr. Clark was more focused on maintaining a connection to his passion than preserving an image of the past. He carefully selected plants that required less maintenance, opting for varieties that could thrive with minimal effort. His new garden became an oasis of simplicity, filled with plants that brought him joy but didn't demand as much from his body. Though smaller, Mr. Clark's garden remained stunning. The vibrant flowers, thoughtfully tended, still bloomed in harmony, filling his space with beauty. His vegetables continued to yield produce, but now there was less pressure to harvest in excess. The trees, once towering giants, gave way to smaller, manageable plants that fit within his current physical limits. In place of overwhelming abundance, he discovered a peaceful sense of simplicity, a reminder that less could, indeed, bring just as much joy. Mr. Clark's journey taught him that aging doesn't have to mean the loss of passion or purpose. It's not about giving up the things we love. Rather, it's about finding new ways to enjoy those things in ways that are sustainable and fulfilling. His story serves as a reminder that life's beauty doesn't always come from what's grand or extensive. Sometimes, it emerges from simplicity and focus. By embracing a more manageable garden, Mr. Clark found not only joy but also a deeper connection to the very essence of gardening itself. His garden didn't become less beautiful. It became more tailored to his needs. The joy he experienced wasn't diminished by the smaller scope. Instead, it was enriched by the awareness that he was tending to his garden in a way that reflected his evolving life. Aging doesn't mean giving up on what we love. It means adapting to new chapters with grace and intention. Mr. Clark's garden, though downsized, thrived with beauty and meaning. His story encourages us all to reflect on what truly matters and to realize that simplicity, when embraced, can offer a profound sense of fulfillment and peace. Story 6. The Family Legacy. Let me now share with you the story of Mildred, a truly inspiring woman whose choice at 84 years old stands as a powerful reminder of the beauty and value of home, memories, and the connection to one's past. Mildred had lived in her home for over 50 years, a place where she had raised her children, hosted countless family gatherings, and built a lifetime of cherished memories. The house wasn't just a structure to her, it was the heart of her family, the center of her life, and the foundation upon which all her most treasured moments were built. As Mildred grew older, however, life began to present new challenges. Her children, with good intentions, became concerned about her ability to manage on her own. They suggested a move to a nursing home, believing it might provide her with the round-the-clock care and support she needed. But Mildred wasn't ready to part with the home that had held so many of her life's precious moments. The thought of leaving behind the place that had nurtured her, where she had built a lifetime of memories with her children and grandchildren, was simply too overwhelming. Instead, she made the courageous decision to stay. Mildred's unwavering attachment to her home wasn't born out of nostalgia alone. It was deeply rooted in the security and sense of continuity that only a familiar space could provide. She wasn't just holding on to the past, she was holding on to the heart of her life. Rather than succumbing to the fear of aging or the pressure to move to an unfamiliar environment, Mildred embraced a different approach. She arranged for family members to check on her regularly, ensuring she had the support she needed while remaining in the home that had been her sanctuary for decades. The walls of her home told a story of laughter, joy, struggles, and triumphs. They were not just physical structures. They were the keepers of her family's history, the repository of countless shared moments. For Mildred, those walls weren't just her surroundings. They were a source of security, comfort, and connection. The house had seen her children grow, seen family gatherings filled with love and laughter, and witnessed the bonds that had formed over the years. No nursing home could offer her the same sense of belonging and familiarity. Mildred's story teaches us a profound lesson. Home is where the heart truly is. Sometimes, the best place to age isn't in a new environment, but rather where we have built our lives, where our memories reside, and where we feel most connected to ourselves and our loved ones. Aging doesn't have to mean saying goodbye to the things that bring us joy, independence, and purpose. Sometimes, the familiar is exactly what we need to thrive, even in the later stages of life. As we've witnessed through these 6 remarkable stories, aging doesn't signal the end of joy, purpose, or independence. Whether it's through embracing new technology, adapting to changes, or maintaining strong connections with family and friends, there are countless ways to live life on our terms, no matter our age. Mildred's story, like the others, reminds us that aging can be a beautiful journey filled with meaning when we honor the legacies and comforts that have shaped who we are. Each story we've explored reflects the resilience, determination, and grace with which individuals navigate their later years. Whether through the embrace of technology, the power of family connections, or a deep attachment to the familiar, there are countless ways to continue embracing life fully. Mildred's choice to remain in her home, surrounded by the echoes of her past, stands as a testament to the enduring power of place and the deep importance of staying connected to the things that have shaped us. In a world that often emphasizes new beginnings and letting go, Mildred's story reminds us that sometimes the best path forward is to hold on to our homes, our memories, and the places that make us feel safe and loved. Aging doesn't mean surrendering what makes life meaningful. It means finding new ways to live fully, on our terms, in the spaces that hold our most cherished moments. As we come to the end of these inspiring stories, what have you learned about embracing life at every stage? Each story offers a powerful reminder that age is never a barrier to adventure, independence, or joy. We'd love to hear from you. What's one lesson from this video that resonated with you, and how will you bring it into practice in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to read your insights. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Until next time, keep living your best life.